Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I am going to clear out Rozenciel's Gates of Fate so I can start grinding her up. Bonds wise, I have her first two bonds max. Currently don't have access to her third bond yet. I will unlock it tomorrow, I guess. And the Hero Toughness bond requires Lanford's help to complete the Nirvana map, while the Hero's Strength bond requires Clotaire's help. So for now, what I've done is I've given Leon's set of gear to Lanford, and I've given one of my mage sets, I think it was Rachel's set or Lana's set, to Clotaire. Let me just double check on that one, because I'm actually not sure which set I gave to Clotaire. So if I just jump down over to him, wherever he is, near the bottom here. Yep, there he is. His set of gear is actually empty right now. Oh, good thing I checked, because otherwise I would have deployed him without any gear whatsoever. So you know what? Let's just grab, I don't know, Lana's set perhaps? Whatever's closest, because my Clotaire is currently in mage class. If I build him, he's definitely going to end up in infantry class in the long term. So for now, it makes more sense to make him a mage as a result. Right. Because I'm going to go up to mage class and then finish up with the infantry class. If I were to use him, of course, which I don't think is actually happening. Well, his setup is now ready. So let's get started with Rozenciel's Gates of Fate. The first bunch, I imagine, is just going to be AoE maps again, but let's see. Flickering flame. The flash of a smile on my family's faces, like the flickering of a candle, is the momentary illusion I have always longed for. Feats are win the battle from 4 rounds and no one from your team was killed. Rozenciel, have you really decided to abandon everything that you have now to sink into darkness? The people you protect, the ideals you pursue, the oath of your father before he died, and your brother's unwillingness to die with his grievances, are all these really so important? Who is that speaking? Forget it. Please forget it. Who are you? Why is your voice constantly lingering in my head, but I can't see you? Only by reaching the end of the darkness can a dazzling pure dawn be ushered in. Rozenciel, are you ready? But I still don't understand. I've been wandering in this endless darkness for so long. What do you need me to be ready for? I would like to answer this question for you, but our time is up. You need only remember, live for the sake of others. Where am I? Rozenciel was in endless darkness just a second ago, but now a shining light came down from the sky. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a place that seemed both strange and familiar. She was rather at a loss, but just at that moment, someone appeared who should not have appeared. Sister, you're late. Frederick, what are you doing here? Frederick has been waiting a long time for you. Surely you didn't forget about your own birthday. Father? Silly child, why do you look so surprised? It seems Frederick's plan was a success. No wonder he said you'd like this kind of surprise. However, don't expect too much. After all, your father is a king, not a chef. You mean you prepared this sumptuous feast all by yourself? This sumptuous feast with this empty table. Come, try this dish that does not even exist. Rozenciel could not believe her eyes. On one hand, she was stupefied by the appearance of her father and brother who had already passed away. On the other, she was afraid that this was a dream that she might wake up from at any moment, so she was joyous and cautious at the same time. After all, throughout all these years, it had been Rozenciel's most yearned-for dream to be able to enjoy a heartwarming dinner with her family again, and now the scene actually appeared before her. With an uneasy heart, Rozenciel spent an unforgettable afternoon with her father and brother. Seeing them again even made her say many things that she had been too ashamed to say before. Finally, they bid farewell in the warm afterglow of the sun, and after agreeing to meet again the next day, the three of them reluctantly returned to their own palaces. Have I really returned? After returning to her chambers alone, even though she was standing in her own bedroom, Rozenciel still couldn't quite believe that everything before her eyes was real. But while Rozenciel was excited at having suddenly returned to the past, there was a gentle knock on the door. Heart. Very important person. Follow your heart and stay true to yourself. That event is the most sacred moment in your life, and you're my only sister. So I truly hope you will attain real happiness. Is it the general that she was originally supposed to marry again? You should cherish all this, for it is not easily obtained. You mustn't rush this. There is time later to tell them the endless things in your heart. Perhaps the long-missed sense of familiarity of the room brought comfort to Rozenciel. She flipped through some of the books next to her pillow for a while and fell asleep. Okay. So, what? Deploy Shafaniel and just AoE down all these enemies? Where am I? Tomorrow does not belong to you. It's over. It will never be over. You have no present, just like eternity has no future. What's that even supposed to mean? You have no present? That's the first battle, and 5 shards. Father, Frederick, where are you? Never. Live for the sake of others. What? This is... Why am I back here again? Unsettling feelings arose in Rozenciel's heart. She tried asking the voice that had appeared in her mind but did not receive any response. So all she could do was continue wandering aimlessly in the darkness. A long time passed, so long that Rozenciel lost all of her physical strength. Just as she entered a daze, Rozenciel discovered a huge door standing before her. After pushing open the door with the last of her strength, she found herself in a familiar scene once again. Sister, you're late. Frederick has been waiting. A repeat of the previous scene? Some strange time loop. Alright, battle number 2. Deathly Still. The shimmering reflection of the moonlight in the water vanishes as the endless night stretches on. Send 2 or less heroes in the battlefield. Defeat 4 enemies within 2 turns. Guess kill them with Rozenciel, or kill them with Shafaniel again. Ah, the empty table once more. Yes, now her mind is full of doubt. Of course it would be. Deja vu. The same conversation, the same scene. If this is reality, then what was all that before? This time, unlike the first, Rozenciel felt that the smiles of her father and brother were no longer heartfelt, but instead revealed a sliver of horror and fear. She scanned her environments prudently. Everything seemed to be consistent with her impression, but she couldn't help but feel like something had changed, something that she hadn't noticed. Then Prince Frederick's voice interrupted Rozenciel's contemplation. What in the heavens happened? Why can't I remember my past at all? Some subtle changes. For instance, on the map decorating the wall, the domain of Regensburg was gradually consuming the territory of Kunzis. And as she ran her finger across the map, scarlet red filled every corner of it. Instantly, a wailing sound in her ears, along with a clattering of hooves, and a familiar figure suddenly flashed through her mind, but she couldn't remember his name. And all she saw were great flames engulfing the earth. Rozenciel pulled back her hand in terror, and in that moment the bloody scene disappeared from her mind. She then heard a click, and the door to her chambers opened. "Is that you, Frederick?" Rozenciel's voice echoed in the corridor outside her chambers, but there was no response. All she could hear was the sound of gears turning on an ancient magical device, which seemed to be tapping on her very heart. There was nothing outside, and no sign that anybody had come by. Once again, all that greeted Rozenciel was the endless darkness, and the deathly still air made her uneasy. Right at that moment, in the corridor wrapped in darkness, several scarlet-red eyes began to appear one by one. In the dimness, Rozenciel saw a dark shadow enter. Okay, so 2 or less heroes into battle. I think I can just send 1. That should be enough. Let's begin. Who are you? You can't speak, or are you hiding something? At first, Rozenciel thought the dark shadow was a person. She was even too afraid to look at the shadow's face because she thought it might be someone she knew. After getting closer, she realized that, as the enemies were numerous, perhaps there was more than one person who wanted to kill her. Looking into your empty eyes and seeing your intent to kill, I think I've realized something. If I want to survive, I must win this fight, right? Boom! Killing just makes it revive. Okay, I've won. This ludicrous charade ought to be over now, right? Under the tranquil moonlight, spiders are spinning their webs of silk. And sooner or later, they will die in the webs that they have spun. What? I know they're trying to be all mysterious and everything, but whatever. Let's keep going. Never live for the sake of others. Once again, that same quote repeated. Same words again. So if I want to escape this darkness, I seem to have no other choice. But even if I manage to escape, the only thing that awaits me is the endless cycle of death, right? So what do you want me to prepare? Rozenciel asked these questions to the air, hoping to receive some sort of guidance in this confusion, but after waiting some time, there was no response. You know, you'd think a queen, especially a queen that's been ruling for centuries, would be more self-confident. So what should I do to attain the chance to live life with my brother and father? Rozenciel gazed into the endless darkness and thought. She knew that if she could only cross over there and find a door, she would be back in the familiar paths again. After standing and contemplating for a while, Rozenciel decided to walk determinedly towards the faintly discernible light. In that way, she made her third return. Okay. Third battle is Bewilderment. So the king enters the castle as flower petals are thrown. It is the only warmth in this life. Win in 3 rounds, deploy no more than 1 hero now. Okay. Returning to this familiar scene again, Rozenciel no longer felt the excitement of the first time, nor the astonishment of the second. This time she felt only a calm, cold fear. She looked offhandedly at everything before her and then at the 2 relatives who were repeating their dialogue. Then she noticed something. She walked forward as if it were routine and quickly ate the food that was prepared. She wanted to see if it would change the course of events at all. Doesn't matter. I think you have something more important to tell me, right? So you know about it all. Perhaps it was because Rozenciel's reaction was different this time, but she noticed that the scene appeared to be changing. The warm sunlight of before was replaced by a towering wall. At that moment, she looked back at her brother and father. Although they were still their familiar selves, the occasional smiles that appeared across their faces sent chills down her spine. Then, the appearance of a man interrupted Rozenciel's thoughts. Kruger! Please forgive my sudden visit. I prepared this spawned flower especially for you, Princess Rozenciel. I hope you like it. This is the son of Marshal Gizroff, whom I often speak to you about. His name is Kruger. Rozenciel looked frowningly at the strange, yet familiar man before her, but she could not remember where she had seen him before. Really? But as this happened, Rozenciel discovered that as a result of Kruger's appearance, the formerly strong walls surrounding the palace seemed to weaken, and rays of sunlight began shining through. Is this change happening because I made a different choice? So the rumors are true. Princess Rozenciel does often come up with strange ideas. I wonder if, were I now to abruptly invite you to walk with me, would you agree? Soon as Kruger spoke, the scene changed again. Everyone's expressions and actions froze entirely, as if a pause button had been pressed somewhere. Rozenciel was then sure that everything about this was as she had speculated. Is this some strange game of puppetry? Well, in any case, I will not give you another chance to end my life. What did you say? I said I accept your invitation, Kruger. This is a great honor for me, Princess Rozenciel. Does deploying 1 character mean I only bring Rozenciel? I presume that is the case. Right? So, fortunately, I have equipped up my Rozenciel, so at least her stats are far higher than the enemy that I'm facing. Well, the weather is quite pleasant today. It's just a pity that you seem somewhat unhappy, Princess Rozenciel. Exactly. Quite a straightforward response. I suppose the sense of estrangement that you always exhibited towards me is because you don't like me. Estrangement? Yeah. Rozenciel did not answer Kruger's question. In her mind, this man had never hurt her, but the very thought of getting close to him was something that she could feel every cell in her body resisting. Although my father admires you very much, I think it's better that we maintain an appropriate distance. To Rozenciel's surprise, when she and Kruger left the palace, she found the towering walls had disappeared instantly. The sun shone intensely, and the forest was alive with birdsong. But the man before her was really of no interest to Rozenciel. She only wanted to leave the place quickly and uncover the truth of this fantasy world. Oh, unless this is what they call playing hard to get. Think you've misunderstood? I think that from the moment you brought me out of the palace, you had already completed your mission. So now, although the right to choose had always rested with you, Princess, without my consent, you have no right to end our relationship. Forgive my rudeness, Princess Rozenciel. Okay, whatever. One shot! Who are you? Those who forget the past are destined to repeat their mistakes. Rozenciel wanted to press him further, but in the blink of an eye, this man named Kruger suddenly disappeared. Okay. Win in 3 rounds. Deploy no more than 1 hero. Keep going. Once Rozenciel came to her senses, she noticed that at some point a magnificent palace had appeared behind her. I think I've been here before. Your Majesty, for the sake of Regenburg, I promise that in the near future I will surely bring the Crown Prince of Caconsis before you. This person is... Starting from today, Amstel, you shall be the commander of the Soul Crystal Guard. Are you willing to accept this responsibility and safeguard the land and people of Regenburg alongside me? Amstel accepts the mission. Amstel? That name, why does it give me a sense of hatred? What do you mean? Do you mean you agree to let us moon dwellers live in Regenburg? Of course, however, I have another condition. What do you want me to do? A group of people without leadership only brings about disorder, which is also a potential threat to my country. So I need to take on a great responsibility. You will summon the Moon Dwellers and assemble from them a regiment of Iron Wall Knights. What do you think? But you must give me your word that you will never betray Regenburg. What? You actually willing to let me become a general of the Empire? I've lived my whole life in betrayal and deceit. It all ends today. But to be able to depart in your embrace in this final moment at least proves that this life of mine is not entirely a mistake of fate. Stop talking, Your Majesty, stop talking! But you still shed tears, Clotaire. I've never seen you cry, and nobody has ever shed a tear for me. So whatever that glimmer in your eye is, it must be a crystal. What? Why did I just say that unknowingly? Rozenciel was disturbed by the constantly changing scenes before her. The words that she spoke, which came to her subconscious mind, shocked her, because she didn't even know these people's names. All those scenes that were flashing through my mind just now, what were they? Who were they? And Her Majesty that they spoke of, who was she? Could they be referring to me? And those scenes are my past? Never live for the sake of others. I've had enough. All these flashbacks. Are you mocking me for the fact that I cannot escape my fate? Answer me. Why do you not answer me? You will not understand. You will understand in the end. If you wish to know the answer, find me. Where are you? Where do I find you? Rozenciel's voice dissipated through the darkness, but just like before, no matter how loudly she shouted, there was still no response, and the dim glow from the faintly visible door again beckoned Rozenciel to approach. If this is all just a prank you're playing on me, then it's time to end it. After saying that, Rozenciel stepped boldly through the door, and just like that, Rozenciel made her 4th return. Meh. So, the 4th battle is Nirvana, so that we are finally at one of the battles that unlocks a bond, and this one needs Lanford's help. So here we go. feats. Send no more than one hero into battle. And no one from your team was killed. Does that mean I have to actually play this one twice in order to get that feat? Well, in that case, I'm gonna give up on that feat. I'd rather get the bond unlocked with Lanford than, you know, than to get 20 crystals. Okay, well, let's get started. Bizarre though. Sister, you're late. This is so repetitive. Yeah, what are you trying to achieve by this? Answer me. Having returned time and time again, the joy in Rozenciel's heart had long since been replaced by an unremitting fury. But her surroundings remained silent, and Rozenciel received no answer. Her father and brother, who stood before her, seemed not to have heard her at all. They simply continued with their act. Frederick had been waiting here for a long time, blah 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 blah. You're not my father at all, are you? So you know about it all. What? Faced with Rozenciel's sharp question, King Cleonus admitted it with an air of utter indifference. For a time, this made Rozenciel unsure how to proceed with the conversation. But just then, the man known as Kruger came into Rozenciel's sight once again. I think I understand. This is the sun, blah blah blah. Some people describe war as a dark cloud that swallows the earth. They can never admit that it's a cloud of their own creation. Oh, are you trying to say that my appearance has dispelled the clouds in your mind and plucked your heartstrings? I didn't expect you to be quite so forward, princess. So does that mean you agree to our marriage then? This is great news. I think father will be so happy. Marriage? I think you have misunderstood me. Rozenciel wasn't sure why Kruger had misunderstood her in that way, but she had a hunch that things were moving in that direction anyways, and she wanted to stop it. Then, Princess Rozenciel, you don't agree with the matter of our marriage? That's okay. I believe I am competent enough to prove that I am qualified to stand by your side. So will you give me a chance? The flowers outside the palace are blooming delightfully. I wonder if you would do me the honor of accompanying me on a stroll. No, you didn't think about it. Never live for the sake of others. Rozenciel made her 5th return. Really had enough of this. Could the key to solving this puzzle actually have nothing to do with Kruger and instead rest with you two? So if I get rid of you, I'll be able to find the truth, right? To Rozenciel, there was no other way forward, so perhaps there was only one last way to change things. Rodriguez. Goodbye. You two people with the faces of brother and father. So, Lanford, where are you, Lanford? There he is. Alright, let's go. Since this all began with you, allow me to put an end to it. No, Rozenciel, don't do this. You'll regret it. 2 range mage, 1 mage, 1 range Frederick. Let's just have Lanford charge forward and smack into start. And I guess I'll just move up like this for now. Rozenciel, you can never escape from this place. Are you going to abandon Regensburg? That's perfect. Now, my great plan can finally be realized. We really shouldn't do this, Princess. Protect Regensburg together. No, stop talking. You, who are you? Wow, the soldiers are just tanking everything. Channeling the power of reincarnation. Wonder what that even means. Whatever. Let's have emergency attack. Let's have Lanford attack. Oh, they put him to sleep. Interesting. There was no time limit, right? Yeah, it was just send one hero into the battlefield. So, whatever. Let's finish it. Rozenciel looked blankly at the group of people she had killed by her own hand. Some wore expressions of disbelief, while others exuded conceited arrogance. What puzzled Rozenciel was that in Kruger's eyes, she could see actual love, and this strange emotion made her feel sick. Once they had all been cut down, they immediately turned back into shadows and disappeared. Is it over, or must I go back to the darkness again? Why don't you speak? Answer me! As Rozenciel shouted, her surroundings changed again. A huge void rushed over the palace and a thick black fog covered the sky. Even as the ground trembled, Rozenciel still felt no fear. She glanced angrily at her surroundings, with some curiosity as to what she would meet with this time. After some time, everything settled down, and Rozenciel found herself in a large and vacant church. It was as if the world had come to a standstill. Only the flickering light of the candles placed in the center of the church informed Rozenciel that time was still in motion. No one from your team was killed. Yeah. So you would have to clear that again with just Rozenciel deployed, which is stupid. I'm totally not going back for that feat. Just, it makes no sense to. Alright. Bonds. Let's unlock that one for now. Okay. I mean, I can quickly max it out. And then we move on to the last battle where I use Clotaire. So, Solitude's End. Shocked into waking as tears stream down her face, it is the dawn of the crystals blossoming. Feats here, win within 5 rounds, and defeat 1 enemy within 2 turns. Well, to be fair, even if I don't get both feats today, it's fine, because you can replay this as much as you want, while farming up Rozenciel. So, but I plan to get the feats if I can. So, here we go. It appears I have succeeded. However, is it because I broke your rules that you were forced to appear? Good. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what trick you have prepared for me this time. The people. Oh, the wedding. General Kruger, do you agree to marry this beautiful princess before you, and remain by her side whether in bad times or good, in sickness or in health? I do. Then, princess, do you agree to become the wife of General Kruger, and remain by his side in poverty or wealth, in sadness or in happiness? That girl standing by Kruger's side, who is she? Why do I feel a sense of sadness looking at her from behind? And this scene. No, you can't marry him. Rozenciel tried to approach the bride-to-be, but in that moment, black flames rose up all around her, blocking her path. I do. Then in the name of God, I declare you husband and wife. May your love for each other be everlasting. Now for the sealing kiss. Stop. Stop. Can't you see these black flames? No matter how Rozenciel shouted, the people around her remained immersed in the joy of the wedding. Congratulations, Princess. Congratulations, General. Princess. Who else in this kingdom aside from me is called Princess? Unless this too is... Mother, please cheer up. Now that I've seen you married, I have no more regrets. Father, don't be sad. Nobody lives forever. It satisfies me that I could watch you two grow. Is this the real scene? My condolences. Father. Father. The air of sorrow diffused, and Rozenciel couldn't help but feel a sense of heartache. But at that moment, black flames rose once again. The dancing flames started towards the girl, but it seems that she felt no pain whatsoever. Even amidst the searing flames, she simply lowered her head and wept silently. Watch out. Okay. So, Rozenciel with Clotaire, I guess, is the way this map works. And at least I do have one AoE, right? This one, Searing Void. So self-targeting span of 3 circles, so 3 ring AoE. Works for me, good enough. There are cavalry enemies though, so I'm not sure I should run infantry soldiers. Maybe I'll just flip to zealots. And other than that, maybe I'll just have her bring her faction buff, Imperial Radiance, just in case. Alright, I think that is everything. Let's go. Soldiers of Regenburg, before we move out, please allow me to say a few words. 10 years. Regenburg and councils have been at war for 10 years. In the eyes of the world, this war of our causing is unjust and without meaning. But how can the world see what I've witnessed while tirelessly guarding Regenburg for these 150 years? A black fog that strangles vegetation across the land, a crystal plague which consumes the very souls of my people, and endless riots that plunge the country into chaos. Are the people of Regenburg not entitled to a normal life? I reject this unfair morality and fate. Today we point our swords towards the south. Today I join you in a great crusade against Caconsis. We shall take back the right to our own destiny. Long live the Queen! Long live Queen Rozenciel! Queen Rozenciel? That lunatic who started the war against Caconsis was me? No, that's impossible. So if I moved him up in Searing Void, it would hit all these enemies. Oh wait, no, these are allies. Okay, fair enough. So I guess I'll just move up a little bit initially. And Imperial Radiance. Is there a time limit? Win within 5 rounds. Okay. Guess I'm just going to wait for them to approach, basically. I mean, I'll maneuver up a little, but mostly it's just holding back. Interesting. The enemies do approach them and attack, it seems.
私のレーゲンブルクです。
So I'm just gonna move back instead of pushing further forward.
私のレーゲンブルクです。どうしました？私の仰せのままに。
Except for Clotaire, who is gonna charge forward like this.
水晶に帝国の敵を倒すのです。
There we go. So, all the enemies come charging forward. Clotaire gets hit once. Good enough.
どうしました？
If I move up and launch up my AoE, I can hit a whole bunch of them. So let's do that.
水晶に帝国の敵を倒すのです。仰せのままに。
And if I have Clotaire move up and use this immolation crystal skill and launch up my AoE, nope. Guess I'll just launch it out here. Maybe I'll move down one just to avoid that mage attack. That mostly crushes them except for the mages. Just like that. Gonna have the soldiers wipe out this guy. It's turn 3. This is gonna move up 3 and then be out of range. So maybe I'll have fire general attack. Yes. I just need to stay out of range. So we can start moving up characters though. Like this. Here they come. Turn 4. Let's just finish them off. Rozenciel wipes out 1. And Clotaire should be able to take down the other. Tell me, that battle wasn't such a success for you as this one is, right? You are advocating peace, right? Perhaps the world cannot understand why I did what I did, or it may even cast me aside, but I feel no regrets. As long as my heart is with my people and my country, all my choices will have been right. You're sick, but you're beyond curing. That's what you all think. That's not the way I feel. Because that is how the world treats me. So I do not regret any of my actions. All I regret are the things that I didn't do, things for which it is too late to change. Who are you? I am you. What? No, you're not me. Time spoils the beauty of youth, pressing wrinkles on the foreheads of the beautiful. Nobody can escape its sickle. She really has no regrets for all the deaths and so on? No. This is another one of your tricks. Why did you want me to see all this? Why? Never live for the sake of others. What? Father, what is this word? Oh, this is death. Then, Father, what is death? Death is when we leave the ones we love. Will I die too one day? Yes, but not for a long, long, long time. Will you die? Yes. But the life of a king is not determined by himself, so death, for me, could come now. Or it could come in the distant future. So I must learn to cherish the present. To never live for the sake of others. I'm sorry, Father. They're doing this again? Zlongames really likes these kind of things. The no words, just, you know, emotes to show the rest of the story. Oh, there we go. 1 within 5 rounds. Defeated 1 enemy within 2 turns. And... oh, I also get a random Clotaire shard. Along with the 5 memory shards of Rozenciel. In the time since you left, I developed an unexpected love for travel. While going back and forth in the endless expanses of time, I accumulated many stories. A small girl once told me a story. She said that after people die, they wake up in darkness, and when they open their eyes and peer into the endless darkness, that they find what awaits them is a terrifying demon. In this moment, they have 2 choices. One is to face the demon, the other is to escape. When they try desperately to escape, they find that it's not the light that greets them, but even more terrifying demons. But if, instead of escaping, they decide to face it, then 2 things will happen. The first is that they will no longer be afraid and gain the courage to face anything. The second is that they obtain the key to heaven, where their loved ones await them. This sounds a bit like a fairy tale made up in the minds of a child, right? So I didn't believe it. As for your dying words, I have always kept them in my heart. Even though I really do wish to keep Regenberg alive, I don't know what I can do to give you the chance to see all this. I have been thinking about this question for a long time, and now I have the answer. So please forgive me this first and final act of greed. But first, I have decided to bury this last crystal shard that represents my longing, here in the only place that overlooks the entirety of Regenberg. I hope it becomes your eyes in this mortal world. And now, welcome home, Queen Rozenciel. It reminds me of all those extra stories of, you know, Zerida, for example, right? When Zerida died, she went into the sword and they had a whole plot line about that. Same kind of thing here, clearly. But there we are. I'm not sure I have enough gold to actually finish up my Rozenciel. I don't think I do. But let's see. Oh. Can buy this Spirit of Flame here. And finish up that deck. But I won't be able to finish up the Heart Bond. That's for sure. I can buy some of these items to start up the Heart Bond at least. I should probably buy a bunch more since I've nearly used them all up. The other ones I have around 20 of, so since I'm using another 15, that's fine. And I'm out of gold, so yeah. I'll finish up Rozenciel's bond later. No gold left. There we go. Her 5 Skates of Fate. None of them was too difficult. Not really sure how I feel about the storyline overall, frankly. But at least it's done and over with. So thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.